G'day everybody, my name is Elliot Waters and you're listening to the Dysregulated podcast. As always, thank you for tuning in. So you can probably tell the money maker, my voice, my vocal cords are not in the best shape at present, but there's a reason why I'm pushing ahead with this episode. So I've just come back. People who have listened to the show long enough, you'll know that I'm a big Newcastle Knights supporter here in the National Rugby League here in Australia. Now, there's been a lot of games this year that I've missed because the social anxiety component has just been too strong. 30,000 people in my mind when I'm in that frame of mind with the social anxiety running the show. It tells me that those 30,000 people are looking at me and judging me negatively. But I'm happy to say that today was different. I pushed it aside and said, nah, I ain't listening to that rubbish. I'm going to watch my team and I'm going to have a good time. And I tell you what, I was cheering very, very loudly. There was a lot of, it's very cathartic, I think, going to these sorts of games. If you've got a bit of built up sort of, I don't know, what's the word? Resentment maybe, you got a chip on your shoulder for whatever reason. You just got the shits in general. Going to a footy game and just absolutely giving it to the opposition, I think is a wonderful, wonderful way of being able to expel some of that negative emotion in a way that is actually acceptable. So that's great. So as you can probably tell by my voice, I was doing plenty of that. But the main reason for the episode is because I do want to give myself a pat on the back because I was in two minds about going or watching on TV. And don't get me wrong, I used to go to every single home game. I used to go to away games as well. But more recently, when the social anxiety has sort of reared its ugly head, there's been unfortunately occasions where I've had to stay home and watch the game on TV and think the whole time, fair dinkum, I wish I was at that game. What a missed opportunity. But there was no way I was going to let that happen today. Partly because if we won this game, which we did, by the way, have I mentioned that we won, the Newcastle Knights defeated the South Sydney Rabbitohs, and we're just about locked in now for finals football. So it's very, very exciting, and I was riding them all the way, that's for sure. But again, the main point of this episode is essentially to give myself a pat on the back, because the social anxiety was there. It's not like it just disappeared today and I just walked in and it was easy. Definitely not. Head was down, just trying to stay out of people's way. A lot of, thinking that people are looking at me negatively and stuff. Like even ridiculous things like, I sort of need a haircut at the moment. I need a bit of a haircut. So I'm walking around thinking people are probably looking at me thinking that guy needs a haircut. And it sounds ridiculous, but that is what social anxiety can do to people. But today was different because I said, you know what? Nah, get out of my way. I'm going to watch my mighty Newcastle Knights secure a spot in the final series. And I'll tell you what, it was one hell of a game. I'm so glad I went. And I feel more empowered now against this social anxiety tendency that I have in my psyche because lately it has been getting a bit on top of me. I'm not going to lie. It's been winning the last few battles, but today that was a big one and we absolutely smashed it. The Knights smashed the Rabbitohs and I smashed the social anxiety and it's a great, great feeling. So anyway, that's enough talking from me because I cannot do too much damage to the money maker, my voice box, because I've got so many more episodes to come and I really need this voice to be in tip-top shape. But I want to get this episode across. We beat social anxiety today. We pushed it into the corner and we said, nah, I'm not listening. I'm not engaging with that rubbish. I'm going to the football. Go the Knights. All right, thank you everybody for listening. I'll see you next time here on the Dysregulated podcast.